Hey guys, welcome back to the VaporCast. Uh, Episode what, like 7, 6? I can't count.
Probably, yeah.
We got all the past episodes up just recently, which is great. So if you want to see the Dan Mason or the Gemini Chanico Downerlands, they should be on the YouTube as well, along with this one. So anyways, yeah, I'm Zorro. Hi. And our wonderful co-host, Second Sight.
What's going on?
And our special guest today, in my opinion, one of the greatest ambient musicians and one of the greatest ambient musicians in Vaporwave for sure. Desert Sands Feel Warm at Night.
Yay! Hello. You actually said, you know what? Actually, just by saying that, you brought up a really good point. It's Desert Sand Feels Warm
Oh,
at
I said
Night.
incorrectly?
Yes,
Oh.
a lot of people do.
I
Do you
think...
want to redo the intro?
No, it's fine. I think it's like a gag at this point. I say everyone's name incorrectly. Just live. I
No,
messed
a
up
lot
some
of people
people's
do
names.
that. A lot of
It's
people say Desert Sands Feel, but it's not. It's Desert Sand Feels.
yeah, it's
Because
a lot of
sand
words.
sand is a collective thing.
Yeah, don't take it too personally. He said Mandason last time, so we're good.
Really?
No.
No.
Wow.
Oh, I hope not.
Okay.
No, you
I'm
didn't.
not
You're
that
good.
bad. God damn this. All right. Should probably go move on to our first question. The question I always start off with, and we'll be starting off every time. I think it's a great question is, how did you get into Vaporwave? How did you discover Vaporwave?
So my discovery actually goes back to when I was learning Chinese, and I've had a Spotify account for 6 years now, and among that time, I've listened to a lot of Chinese pop on there. And that's where my love for that style of music grew, and Japanese pop as well. Obviously, I didn't learn Japanese, but it was just something that I also explored because I really like the Chinese side. And one day, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, you get those Discover weekly playlists with like tracks that Spotify
Yeah.
thinks you'll like.
Oh yeah.
In there was a Telepath track.
Oh,
It was actually the fourth track from the Disconnection album, which is a great album. And I said, "What's this? This looks really interesting." Played it, and it felt like something that I was missing in my life. Like, what the fuck is this? This is really good. And it just went on from there. I looked at who Telepath was, what style of music it was, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess. That's really
yeah.
it. That's how I discovered Vaporwave, through Chinese pop, which is
That's
weird.
wonderful. I love hearing these stories. It's great. Everyone always has something different to say. Discovering through like a random Spotify playlist or something, and it kind of like changes your world.
Yeah, in a weird way, I have to thank Spotify for introducing me to it.
Big
So, thanks,
Spotify.
Spotify.
We're not sponsored.
No
No,
sponsor.
no,
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
We'll get there. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll get there. It is. As someone who knows like nothing really about Telepath, but I feel like there is a lot of influence I could tell sometimes in your music from Telepath
Yeah.
and the way you do it, and that does make sense being the first introduction.
I know, maybe it was that sprouted, me to do Slushwave, but I did already thoroughly enjoy ambient music before that. So, it was almost like a mix of what I already enjoyed plus a bit of the Chinese pop, but this is just a bit more, slowed and just chill, and I really like that. That's what drew me into it, really.
It's so
Nice.
unique from everything else.
Well, speaking of actually making it, how about what inspired you to make the your sample free slush wave?
Oh, a change in. I don't know. At the time I made the first original Slushwave album, it was just more of a experiment. Can I do this well? So that's why in the tweets and things, it's like, this is my first experiment. When that dropped, it was like huge. People said it was like their favorite straight away, and that really spurred me on to do more of it. And now I'm slowly moving away from sample stuff just because it's so much fun to do sample free stuff and no one can tell the difference. Because in most cases, when artists move from sampled to sample free, there's quite a difference, and some people really don't like that. But the resounding answer that I've seen from comments and other talking to other people is that their favorites are the sample free albums. So, if I want to, I'm having so much fun doing it, and the fans are loving it as well. So, why stop making them?
Yep.
So,
That makes sense.
I will do sampled albums from time to time, but mainly it'll be sample free now, just because I can create the sound I really want rather than having to rely on what a sample is and sounds like.
Yeah.
It's really the support of everybody that has driven me to do more. Because if it was like a fail and everyone was like, "Oh, there's a sound," then I wouldn't have probably done another one. But it's all about making it sound as sampled as possible whilst using those samples.
Yeah, it's not easy to do, from what I know. It's
It's
quite a line.
It was, as I say, that's why it started out as an experiment, because I just didn't know how to approach it at first. And I just thought, I'm going to make a track. I'm going to treat it exactly like a sample, so I'm not going to put in any like slick transitions or anything. It's going to sound just like a sample, and I'll treat it just like a sample. So chops and edits and cuts, and it works well, I find. It works very, very well.
It's a good thing, yeah. And plus, you don't have to deal with any of that copyright.
No,
It's a
that's
plus.
good.
That's a plus.
Obviously, the covers aren't mine, but in the recent one, I got Zero to do the cover.
Yeah, I was wondering who did that. Yeah, great artist.
Not Zero Trash Wave, the other Zero.
Oh, the other Zero. Oh, really?
Wow.
Zero. That is a beautiful
Zero.
art.
I Am Zero music.
I Am Zero, yeah. I Am Zero did that. And it's beautiful. So that's like the first album that's actually all mine completely, and it feels great because I can slap it anywhere and not have to worry about it. So.
Yeah. I was actually possibly going to ask a question about that because it's really something awesome at Higher Earth Records. If we're talking about the collab with Uncle Squids.
Oh,
correct? Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Making sure. Yeah, because I believe you have like 500 vinyl of it, and it's all sold out now, from what I can tell.
Holy shit!
Amazing support.
Yeah, Higher Earth Cat System Corp are awesome with their job. It's wonderful to see that there.
Yount is Cat System Corp. He is probably one of the most open people I've ever talked to. Like, he's releasing music from quite small artists on his label, which is really bold thing to do, I think, because he's just like, oh, I want people to hear this music, and that's what. Because actually, when me and Uncle Squid started this collab, it was March 2019, so it was ages ago.
Wow!
Holy shit!
This has been like a 1.5 year long project.
Yes, we've been waiting for fucking ages. That's nothing to do with Yount though, or anything like that. It's just how the release went. So but it was so amazing to see when it came out, and how much we had grown, both me and Uncle Squids, in that time. It couldn't have turned out any better, I think. And Yount did an amazing job with all the designs and getting everything together in time. And long time coming, but it was really good.
Yeah. Wow. Higher Earth did start around last year, I believe so. They're rather new. I think there's only like 10-ish albums plus the new Telepath one that just came out recently. I believe it's Telepath. I've heard.
There's a lot of theories about who Lovers Entwined are.
Oh, there's no confirmation on it. Oh, see.
I mean, I thought
no confirmation.
I've always thought it was like another duo.
It did seem like a duo.
It's Telepath and Argia, I believe.
That would make sense.
But I've heard that Argia is. Oh, I've heard so many stories about who Argia is, and I don't know what to believe anymore.
Quite a lot of mystery happening.
I've heard
the new Lover Entwined and the new Bank Banshee teaser they just put out yesterday.
Oh, I didn't even know
it's
about
Blank
that.
Banshee completely
I did see
incorrect.
that, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
I missed out.
Oh, did you not know till right now?
No. Dude, I've been
Have you
working.
not been on Twitter? Have you
Barely.
not been on Twitter?
Bro, listen here. All right.
Okay.
Some crazy
Yes,
shit
they
went
dropped a
down the
new
other week,
teaser
and
yesterday.
I haven't been really focused on what the community too much since
Oh, that's okay.
the
That's okay.
the lovely night that I had 2 weeks ago at
Yeah,
work.
we won't mention that because I know you don't want to talk about that.
I mean, I don't mind talking about it, but
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not about me here. We're here for
We're here, but we're here for Desert Dance.
exactly.
But yes, because you missed out. Like Banshee dropped the teaser, and they didn't really say much. But that was their first tweet since like February. So
All right, I'll
they
check.
did promise a new album, so they're not gonna lie. There's obviously something coming, which is great. I'm not much of a Blank Banshee fan, but you know, there's all this awesome stuff happening in the scene right now. It looks like, you know, things are looking up for this year.
Yeah, finally.
Finally, yeah.
Oh my
At least
God.
for the vaporwave scene after nothing too crazy releasing. You know. Yeah, let me go with questions. Simple question. Not a simple question, but there's a question I'm interested in the answers for. What's your music process like when making slush waves?
Well, I'm going to split this into two categories, and that's sampled and non-sampled because they're very different.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good.
The
Fantastic.
basic. So let's go with the sampled album first of all. The basic fundamentals is this is probably quite unorthodox to some people, but I always come up with the album title and track titles first before doing anything else. Is I come up with a theme, a story, whatever, and I have that down, and then I say, right, I'm gonna base my tracks off these titles, and I'm gonna find samples that sort of will work with this. And my sample hunting process is just going through albums that I really love because I listen to so much Chinese pop. You could say I'm an addict, and I would say, yeah, sure. I listen to so much of it, and I've just discovered so much great music that I'd love to sample. So I go through albums that I love and listen to them again. I go, oh, this could be used as a sample. Slap that in to my super secret slush wave process.
Super secret slush wave process.
Yes.
boy.
And then out pops this nice slush wave track. And then I normally I get a whole bunch together, and then just when I'm about 2 or 3 tracks from actually getting enough to fill the track titles that I made, I start assigning them to some.
Oh,
And yeah, that's my process for the sampled ones.
wow.
The non-sampled is a little different. I do generally come up with a track title and an album title first. But the non-sampled is a lot more of just I've got to think of the theme and then come up with an idea, like a melody or a song or a track or a style of sample that would work with that. And I do a lot of improvisation. Actually, I would think mostly 90% of all these songs I made have just been me sitting at the keyboard and just playing random stuff. And then when I find a progression that works, I like, oh, this is really good. We're gonna use this. I'm gonna turn this into a track. And then I make a full speed 80s sounding sample. That's literally what I make.
Oh, wow.
I don't add any effects or anything. This is because I want it to sound, like I said, as close to a sample as possible. So I literally basically make the sample, if you like. It's a full speed 80s or 90s thing, and then I slap it into the super secret slush wave process again.
Trade secret?
Yeah, trade secret. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever tell what VSTs or things I use. I mean, if you want to know my DAW, I use Logic Pro X, and I don't use any of the stock. VSTs, so they're all out there on the web somewhere.
Ooh.
If you are looking for good VSTs,
Scavenger hunt.
Yes, Plugin Boutique is where I've got all mine from. So if you want to chance it, but they have tons and tons and tons for all purposes and quite cheap as well. I'm not sponsored again.
I do have a side question, kind of a side question for the the sample part, because I usually ask this
Mhm.
because it's good for a lot of people to know, and a lot of new artists want to know, like, how do you find samples? So what's your like sample finding technique, if you have any like special would give to people watching who are looking for samples and can't find any?
If you can't find samples, I would probably say you're listening to the wrong music because there's
Ooh.
so much music out there. Um, a good thing I used to do when I was first starting out is go on Discogs, and there's tons and tons of tags that you can look through different genres and just skim through there. If there's any that catch your eye, go and listen to that album. And what I would say is, don't just listen to the first 10 seconds of a track and then go, "Oh, I'm going to take that." Listen to the whole song. Maybe listen to that album and get a feel for what the song actually is, what the style is, and things like that. Make sure you know that this is the style and this is the artist that you want to sample.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my advice really. Listen
Yeah.
to a lot. Just listen and listen and listen, and you'll find stuff.
Yeah, I've heard like people, and I've wanted to do this myself. Is like, there's like a certain part in a song that maybe it's deep in, or maybe it's just the start, but that point, that's really good for sampling. Just that second, it's like nothing else. So you kind of want to look for that second, kind of like
Yeah.
or look for that
And
minute.
normally, people listen to the first 10 seconds of the song and go, "Oh, I don't like that," but they haven't listened to the whole song, and there might be a bit in the middle or at the end which is actually really good for sampling.
Yeah.
So never turn down a song unless it's really clearly obvious that the whole song is going to be non-sampleable.
Yeah, it's all just
But
very
if
basic.
there's a
Nothing
song
to
which
sample.
starts kind of non-sampleable, it could just listen.
Yeah.
And you'll discover great music along the way if you do that.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I used to do my sample searching like that. I would skim through like the first minute or something, and then when I started skimming through the whole track, I found more samples, because I used to just sample search to give to some of my people who actually make music, some of my friends, and I'm like, here you go, see if you could do anything with this, and then they would be able to sample and use it.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to see because there's just so much music out there. It really is.
There is. People who
And
say there's not enough are lying, or they haven't looked hard enough.
There's
You
just
can
some
go
stuff
so
I came
deep.
across
Right, like
on YouTube. Like these crazy, amazing disco artists that only have like under 100 views, and it's like this just wonderful song.
Yeah, every time I hear that argument, it's always from someone who like just listens to radio. Like, yeah, if you just listen to like what's popular, then yeah, you're gonna think that there's nothing out there. But like,
If you go to the second page of Google, you will see
right,
that there is more.
There's more. You type in music and you go to page 2, you'll find there's so much more
Yes.
than page 1.
What I was saying is basically the sort of takeaway thing is don't just skim the surface. Go deep into it.
Yeah.
And if you're not enjoying it, then find
Listen
something
out.
else, really. Because you've got to sample something you enjoy, is what I feel like, anyway. Because then there's a disconnection between you and the sample. And if you enjoy the music, which is basically every sample I've sampled, I listen to, either regularly, or if it's there, I would put it on because it's so nice. So connect with your music, really.
There's so much music out there, and there's even vaporwave that can be sampled as well if you're just looking in the scene. Like DMT love to get their stuff sampled, and there's like 900 albums to skim through. I think you'll find at least 1 or 2 samples in there. I can only hope after all the amazing work DMT has done. And their stuff is great too. There's just so many samples out there. Sampling vaporwave artists, sampling other vaporwave artists. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a good technique though, yeah. You kind of, not like grew up, but you've listened to most of the music people consider very sample heavy or sample used. Like the Japanese pop and more Chinese pop are usually the ones that, they gun the sample. So you have expertise in that. In a way, expertise.
It was like the first few albums I did were mainly Japanese ones because that's kind of what Telepath was doing, and a lot Vaporwave was still focused a lot around Japan. And then I was like, oh yeah, I can I can use the Chinese music that I've been listening to for 5 years. And
no one will know the difference.
Well, quite. And the first album where I used Chinese samples was the one on the Infinity Pool, Ascend to Heaven, and that one, apart from I think 2 tracks, is just Chinese samples. Same with the Alone album on Alice City. That is 23 tracks, and 21 of those are Chinese samples.
Oh, wow.
So you consider yourself more of like a Chinese vaporwave artist than a Japanese one, maybe?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, obviously my track titles are in Japanese, but
yeah,
I'm English. That's what I would say. I'm a British vaporwave artist.
Yeah, but you do get your titles, make sure they're Japanese accurate, which is unlike some other,
Yeah, I mean, there are still mistakes sometimes, because sometimes I do have to use translate sometimes, but I try not to.
Yeah, there's some good, real translate websites out there.
There's one called Deep L Translator, that's pretty good. Or just ask a Japanese person.
Yeah.
I have my contacts, so I try not to ask him everything, but if there's really long titles that I am like, this Google Translate is not going to handle this, I would just get them to say.
Google Translate is... I used to do this all the time, like when I was bored in school, just mess around with Google Translate, and it would always end up in just terrible results. Yeah. It's not a very well-made system.
No.
But
I mean, I always felt it was better with Google Translate to like translate in like short increments, like a couple, words.
Yeah, there's this thing I used to do. If you just type in the same letters over and over again, it just produces some weird results.
Oh yeah, it's terribly optimized for some languages, and for others it's really good. Like Hindi, because there's so many verified like Indian people who speak Hindi. So many translations on there are scarily accurate. Like I have an Indian friend, and I put a really long sentence into Google Translate. It came out in Hindi, and he said, "Wow, that's perfect."
Wow.
Google Translate's really good for Hindi if you're curious.
But not good for a lot of other language, unfortunately.
Not good for Japanese. The grammar's
not good for
so different from English and European languages, and
it's unfortunate because I've used Google Translate for an album title before, and I'm like starting to get worried. Maybe it doesn't mean what I think it means, because there was like 40 different words. Because I was using the word forest for rainforest. And I used one of the one for forest was like one character, and I kind of wanted the longer one because just rain in one character didn't feel like it looked wood, so I just kind of went with one of the other ones that was a little longer, which is kind of embarrassing.
One of the other ones.
There was like 4 that had the title of forest, and I feel like I went with one that might mean like a specific type of forest. That's not what it was going for.
That or
I would have to check. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I do get worried about it once. I'm like, should have I done that? Maybe I should have just gone with English or.
Yeah, I remember when I was taking French in high school. Google Translate was always like get confused because you got masculine and feminine in the French, and they never really knew what to do.
Oh wow, that is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, we should move back away from Google Translate now. Right?
Yeah, get away from that.
Oh, this is a great question. Second set's yours. This is a great question that I think you wanted to ask.
Oh yeah. I've been dying to know about this since I first discovered your music.
Go on.
Where the hell is the desert at in the UK?
Where's the desert?
Is it like south by closer to Wales, or is it more up north towards Scotland?
Well, we don't have one.
Oh no!
You lied to me.
Let me say this. People are so associative with my name, and it's just like I see comments on videos like, "Yes, this album truly represents what a desert is like," and it's like, it's just my artist name, and it's just something different that I wanted, and it's really cool, different. I think, to say.
Geez, don't get mad at me.
Oh no!
And people are like. There's a funny thing that happened on Twitter. Glacier asked, desert sand doesn't feel warm at night or something like that, and I put up a poll saying, does desert sand really feel warm at night?
I think I remember this.
And I think it was like 60% yes. And I was like, yes, I won.
Yeah.
And it's a serious argument that I've seen. People in comment sections have been like,
feel
desert sand
like the
doesn't
deserts
feel
are
warm. Right?
warm.
Someone's like, oh yeah, the sand retains the heat, and someone's like, no, it doesn't. I've been there. And it's like, yeah,
I thought they were talking about like the music, because I think you can argue maybe a few albums might not feel like warm, colder.
Literal sand, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's just a name.
See, so I was gonna ask this before, but so there's like no desert you feel like in the real life that you connect to your music?
The only desert I've been in is Death Valley, and that was hot.
So that's a no.
If
you don't feel like there's like a specific desert that people connect you to that you might.
What I would say is that deserts are very, vast, and you feel very lonely if you're by yourself. And a lot of my music, what I've seen for people is that is both very uplifting and melancholic at the same time.
That's a wonderful description.
Yeah, I didn't come up with that. Someone came up with that, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep saying that. So if you're the person who said that, thank you very much for giving me topics to talk about. But it's I feel like being alone to some people can be really nice and comforting, and to others it can be really kind of scary and have an effect on your mental health. But that's what I was trying to explore in the Lonely album. The 23 tracks on Allo City Records, that album. I was trying to explore the feelings of both happiness and sadness at the same time, and that's probably the album that I spent the longest sample hunting for, because I really wanted to create mixed emotions and for people to feel their own way about loneliness. And so that's what that came out of it. And I guess that's how you can link my artist name to it. But there's no deep connection with me to the artist name. It's just something that I was sat down one day and I said, oh, that would be a really cool name to do. And it's something different as well.
Yeah. I feel like it's not like a bad name, but it is one of the longer names in the vaporwave scene.
I'm a live shows poster nightmare.
Oh.
Boxes have been stretched just for my name. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, so. That's definitely
something
that would happen.
At least you can go with just Desert Sand.
I could do that, yeah. And I think there's no one else.
But then they wouldn't feel warm at night, and that's the problem.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like if it was just Desert Sands, it would be missing something,
Did you just say Desert Sands?
Have you? I did say it wrong again, didn't I? Yep.
Oh dear. Oh dear, it's happening.
Desert Sands is an Undertale?
But I do want to know. I do want to know if you've been in a desert sand and it feels warm at night. Have you been in that before? When you were at that valley?
At nighttime.
Yeah. Have you been in the sands? Can you confirm they feel warm?
I can't confirm it. I was, I say, the only time I went to a desert was at Death Valley, but I was like 8 years old, so it was years and years ago.
Oh, you gotta.
I can't remember.
You gotta go back.
You gotta take a trip to the desert soon. Fulfill your artist name.
I want a scientific study of it. I can truly say whether it is. But if it isn't warm at night, I'll just chuck it away.
I'm pretty confident it would, because I've been on.
I think so, because sand would retain heat from the day, but some people were saying some people focus on the coldness of the desert at nighttime, but
does the sand
get
cold?
If you heated up a radiator in a really cold room and then turned it off, it would still feel hot because it's got all the heat inside.
Yeah, I don't think yeah, that's a really tough question. Now, I can see why there's a lot of debate with me.
Yeah, it's a real hot topic, I guess.
It's a hot topic. But it's
you can't make those kind of jokes here.
You can't make those desert sands jokes. Let's get political around
here. People can think
sand.
whatever they want, but just
they're wrong.
I wish they'd stop taking my name so seriously. It's just an artist name that sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go to Second Sight and be like, why the fuck is it Second Sight? I don't have a Second Sight. I only have one sight, and that's my eyes.
Yeah, come on, Second Sight. You can only see once. And you're not Infinity. What's the Infinity sign doing there? You aren't truly.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
My name is just really dumb, so you can't really make any jokes.
You don't want to walk down this path.
You don't want to walk on the sand path at night. All right, no more. I'm done with that.
I'm physically hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. All right.
Well,
back to the
it's unrelated.
questions. That's an interesting question. Hopefully soon, maybe, but have you ever thought about branching into other subgenres?
Well, I kind of already have in the past. A lot of people don't know, but until actually quite recently, I used to own a label with a friend called the Hallworth Collective. And it was where we would just make albums under weird aliases and then just put them on there.
Really?
Yeah, and I made a dark ambient album. I made a sort of I don't know what genre. It was like ambient beats type album.
Like a jungle, kind of?
Yeah, kind of jungly, a bit more chill than that. Sort of more like, I'm just trying to think of artists in my head who sound like that.
That's very
It's kind of like vapor trap, but not as harsh. But then I did make a vapor trap album as well.
Oh, wow.
It's hallworthcollective.bandcamp.com. I posted recently because the first ever album I made as Desert Sand is being released on tape for the first time, and the only way to listen to it is on the Hallworth Collective.
Oh, wow.
So if you were just to scroll through my Twitter, you'd find a post about it, and you can just go listen to all the stuff on there.
You can plug the first album, what label the tape's going to be on, everything.
It's coming on Shatterfoil Industries on the
That is
6th of November.
I am not familiar with. Wow, I got to follow them.
It's owned by Cardian Matsu.
Oh. Yeah, I've heard that name around.
But it was a bit of a punt because we were like, like no one knows about this, and it doesn't sound like Slushwave. It's completely different to my sound now. But go listen to it if you're interested. It's a bit more like classic vapor. Yeah. If you're curious about who else I am on this Hallworth Collective, the Vapor Trap album is under Spherical Cube.
That's a great name.
Yeah, I love it.
I did an album called Broken Forever, which is like chop and screw type stuff. And then the album with the Black Holly as the cover, that was my dark ambient album. And the D4 Axel, We Deserve More, is my sort of chill housey type track. I don't know, you'll just have to go and listen and
you got a lot more music under other names, I just don't think there's any fans, or I mean, there could be, asking for some future funk or something like that. But I think it'll be interesting to hear, that's for sure.
Yeah, so go and listen to those. They were a couple of years ago now, so yeah, that was before I knew what I was even doing. Like, no one knew about me then.
Oh, this is like ancient, like old.
Ancient Desert Sand, yes it is.
Ancient Desert Sands. I like that because it sounds cool.
It sounds like a level in some game, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
Yeah. It does. Sounds like honestly kind of sounds like a level in like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I believe I heard something about your music being in some video games before.
Yes. Do you want to talk about that? Because I can.
Love to, yeah.
Okay. Sure.
It better be played on the desert level. I mean, that's it, right?
So a few months ago, actually quite a few months ago, I was commissioned to do some tracks for a game called Self Checkout Unlimited, which is a sort of surrealist game about finding yourself in this abandoned mall. It's really cool to play, so you should definitely buy it if you can and play it. And my tracks come up in the areas where there's a sort of surreal atmosphere, and it's just really cool. So go check out Self Checkout Unlimited. Me and a guy called Sebastian Zanino did tracks for this, and Zanino did the sort of more mall-y type upbeat tracks, and I did the surreal tracks. So
they really didn't get any like more vaporwave artists. It was kind of just like you're making a whole soundtrack, really.
Yeah, so I did 4 tracks for them, and it was so fun to do, and it's so cool to see my music in a game.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Go check it out. Self Checkout Unlimited. It's on Steam.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah, I remember hearing about that earlier because there's a few vaporwave games people call it. It's always cool to see their music on. I'm I'm playing this. That's me in the background. Kind of.
Yeah.
Look, Ma, there's me. But it's with audio, so
Yeah.
it's a little different. Oh, you kind of already answered the next question, which is the name of your alias.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So which was, as it turns out,
Just I can't dive deep into that at all because there's no cool story. And there's none. So
I guess
I'm
we'll
sorry,
skip that
sorry
question.
everyone.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
everyone who thought I was like trapped in the desert at night time, and I put my hand in the sand and I pulled out. I was like, "Wow, this is warm." It didn't happen.
You pull out one of your own tapes out of the ground. It's like, okay, I'm gonna make this now.
I gotta bring this to the rest of the world.
I have to show
It's
everyone
out of
what
some
I
ancient
found.
ruins.
I found some ancient ruins in the sand. Some real cool slush wave. Check it out.
Yeah.
Kmart tapes, but it's just in the middle of the desert.
Oh my goodness, it didn't happen. It was
didn't happen.
nothing fun.
So maybe
Sorry
if
to everyone.
quarantine lifts, you can take an adventure, maybe a trip to a desert somewhere around.
I'll bury all my tapes in the desert and
Tell everyone to go find them.
Yeah.
There's a reward. Just bury your rarest tape that people really want. And they have to go find it.
Yeah, probably the Geometric Lullaby one because they sell so quickly.
Yeah.
Even when we did the repress, people were like, "Oh, I missed it." So I'll just go bury. I've got like 5 copies of those, so I'll just go bury some of those.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I have like a pretty good tape collection, but I've never managed to pick up a tape ever from them. It's not easy.
Incredibly difficult, but that's why Dennis is now changing his strategy, where he's going to release less, but he's going to do more copies.
Yeah, I think that seems pretty reasonable when your copies of tapes fill out.
And it's just one guy. It's just him.
Yeah.
There's no one else, and so you have to give it to him. People who are getting really pissed off at him, just stop. Okay, this is one guy by himself.
Yeah.
He's trying his best.
He's doing his best.
And then at the end of the day, there's only so much he can do. So just thank him that he's actually doing more copies.
Yeah, as someone who's starting to dive into making physical, even 50 copies of a tape is still a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to remember that takes a while to ship out, and plus the massive amount of vinyl he's done.
Yeah, especially now with the state of the world, like, it'll get to you. It'll just be patient.
Physicals aren't easy,
especially vinyl physicals are incredibly difficult to get right. So that's why you should always choose experience labels for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Or on the other hand, if it's a new label, sign a contract so that you know if it goes tits up, you'll be okay.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
As me, who's starting a new label, who just made one like last week and is preparing, that seems fair to me. But like me, still learning how physicals work, it's a lot of work. As it looks, there's a lot that goes into making just a single tape.
Yeah, but you brought up Geometric Lullaby. I just want to quickly give them a shout out because I somehow was able to get the Red Planet Paul Malmaris from them. I don't know how I managed to get it, but I got it, and I'm super grateful.
I'm so jealous. I got the tape, but it's nothing on there.
Yeah, great label. Shout out to Dennis. I got some big things coming with them.
Oh.
But I'm not going to say what.
Okay, good. Don't.
Okay, keep that a secret. Yeah, no, I don't want to.
We don't want no spoilers here. I'm not that great of an editor. I don't know if I can get it.
We've had people tell little secrets every once in a while, but we don't want
prepared.
We don't want anyone yelling at us.
No, it's completely new music, and I guess you could say it's more than just an album. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
So enjoy.
It's more than just an album.
Speculate in the comments.
Have you been on vinyl yet? I believe you haven't been on vinyl.
I have. I've been on vinyl 3 times now.
Oh, I feel. Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe I haven't seen it around. That's weird. I don't know why. I feel like I should have.
So the 3 vinyls that we've done already is the Sparkling Water vinyl, which was kind of a disaster, but it got shipped out eventually. Then we did a Tomorrow 2096 album.
Oh, yeah.
Chinese Alias.
How did I forget about that? Oh, I'm so dumb.
That was actually my first.
That we just talking about earlier, like the vinyl selling out. Man.
And then the High Reef Records one. Shanghai / Hong Kong.
That's wonderful. Yeah, having your own music on vinyl has to be a wonderful experience.
The first time I got vinyl through the mail, it was like, wow, this is real.
Yeah.
And you open up and then you just stare at it like it's some god, you know, you're like, oh.
Oh, I'm waiting for that experience. Beautiful. I have my first vinyl and first tape arriving soon.
Ooh.
So I definitely feel that. You know,
that's cool.
I'm like, oh, I want, that's me. I did that. You can show it off to everyone.
Most
like,
of my vinyls here are Chinese pop vinyls, ambient vinyls, and then vaporwave vinyls. So
I imagine you do have a little bit of a vaporwave vinyl collection.
To be honest, I don't get much, but I got Mindspring Memories album.
Which one?
It's one with a symbol.
Oh yeah.
The one from Needle Juice.
Needle Juice, yeah.
That was good. Oh, I got more things on Needle Juice coming as well.
So, even more. So look out for Geometric Lullaby and Needle Juice, because Needle Juice they've been doing so much amazing stuff recently.
I got stuff coming up on quite a few things. So keep an eye on the Twitter and the Bandcamp. That's all I can say.
Yeah, don't tell anything that you can't share. We've had that.
No.
Yeah, we don't want.
Yeah, we don't
want to get a cease and desist letter.
We don't want. we had to mess around with that with Dan Mason. Like, okay, don't say anything about upcoming George Clinton that you can't.
Yeah,
like please.
He was kind of giving hints about like his new album, but we had to stop that real quick.
Yeah, we don't want anything. No one don't want us yelling at us. We're just here to chat. Please don't hurt us, Geometric.
Yeah, we don't need.
I'm kidding. I know he won't. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Dennis is lovely. He won't do that.
Yeah. Okay, this is our last question before our Twitter questions, actually. I believe someone did ask this, but possibly, but we're interested here. Out of all the albums you've made, which one is the one you enjoy the most personally? The one that you like?
Oh!
Yeah, hard question, but...
Oh, goodness me. Right, it's between my last three, actually all my sample-free albums. God.
Yeah, it's not an easy question. I always ask it.
So I'm going to think and speak at the same time, but it's like with the first one, it was more of an experiment, and it was fun to make, but because at the time I still wasn't sure, so I don't think it's that one is the most enjoyable. God, I really think it's between the latest one and Night Road. And I'm not just excluding Eternal Summer, because, but that one I kind of made... not quickly, but that album was more ideas that I'd come up over time, and I was just like, I'll repurpose them. I think I'm gonna say Night Road was my most enjoyable to make, just because I played around with lots of different styles. The songs I made in there were really enjoyable. Really, they turned out very nice when they were slushed. So, and that one was so fun just because I got to play around with the long tracks. I want it to be really long. Well, not long by Second Sight standards, but long enough.
That's really true.
I see.
I did not make a 17,000-hour track. Okay,
is this going to become a recurring joke? I really hope it does. That's wonderful.
We're gonna just start beefing over Twitter over this.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to Second Sight's discography, give yourself a couple years.
Yeah, take a week vacation.
And you'll only get through 2 albums.
You'll only get through 2 after the week.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you want to know Desert Sand's favorite desert sand, I'm going to say it wrong, and it's going to be multiple sands.
Singular sand.
But then if you're plural, do I call it Desert Sands?
Oh, if it's Desert Sand's favorite album, yeah, that's right, because it's
I would say, yes. I don't like grammar.
English.
If one of Desert Sand's favorite Desert Sand album, God,
that's
English.
That's it.
That is the one to check out.
Night Road.
Night Road.
It's also a very popular one among the original Slush catalog, so I think it's a solid pick.
All right. Second set, you get the first two. I have the first Twitter question. So now we're taking the questions from Twitter. We asked the Twitter. We got a lot of interesting questions, I'll say that, but we kind of keep it sane.
Thanks, Twitter. Thanks.
Are asking questions. We will not be asking which. A real question we got is which of your hand is longer, the left one or the right one, and we will be not asking that.
Yours and
someone did ask that. We always get weird questions, but never thought we would have to ask what your longer hand is. So we're gonna leave that.
He's a great guy. He loves Chinese pop as well. He loves Dave Wong.
Yeah,
so shout out to Dave Wong. He'll be happy to hear that if he listens to this.
Yeah.
Which I hope he will.
I just have to say, sorry, we're not going to ask the hands question. We always get these weird questions every time. I think in the first episode we talked about like burgers or pickles or something. I don't remember. It was mayonnaise. It was mayonnaise or mustard, I think. That was the question.
Oh my god.
I think we had like a 20-minute debate about which was better or something.
Holy shit.
I can't remember. That was fun. You know what? There's always people who ask great stuff. But this question is from Days of Blue Sky 1. Oh, wait. We've already asked that one. What? It's just what's your favorite album you made.
Oh.
And also ask what your least favorite was, but I don't know if you would want to ask
my
what
least favorite? No. Yeah. I can say that because it's probably going to be probably one of my first few ones. There's one called Cafe something or other. I can't remember what the Japanese says now because it was ages ago, but that one was I just slapped that together in like 5 minutes. That's on the Whole Collective thing.
5 minutes, wow.
Yeah, that's a kind of shitty album, to be honest. That's why I removed it from the front page of my, on my Bandcamp main page. It doesn't really represent what music I make these days, so...
I'm curious now, I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
Whole Collective, if you still want to do it.
All right, you got the next question, second site, an actual Twitter question.
All right, yeah. This was from greatest Twitter handle I've ever seen. From Drunk Not I Am. What's your favorite food?
That is the question.
Food.
Yeah.
Probably pasta or pizza, because pasta. I make so much stuff with pasta. I've made lasagnas and pasta bakes and pestos and chicken stuff with pasta.
You're not
I use a lot of pasta, but if I'm feeling just like a takeaway or just a quick meal, I just put in a pizza. I love soup too. I really love soup. Soup's good, especially this time of year.
Now you know the favorite food whenever you go into a desert. I gotta stop making these jokes. I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't worry. I've got used to it.
Yeah, just
you bring your soup. You bring some lasagna. You go sit in the desert.
You bring your whole oven with you and some DiGiorno's.
You bring your whole oven with DiGiorno. Take it to the desert.
I had a funny thing. I did about 3 tweets last year where I would put blanks in random places in my name, and I'd say to people, "Fill it in." And I got some funny responses from that. It was funny. I cannot remember any of them. I'll have to look those up again, but maybe I should do it.
Wonderful.
And last year I also did a tweet where I said, "Hey Vapor Peeps, show me your shoes," and I got a whole thread.
Oh no!
I got a whole thread of people showing me their shoes, including people like Yornt and.
Yornt showed his shoes. Wow.
He did.
Jeez.
He must have had really nice shoes. I hope.
Data Girl, I think, showed me her shoes. Really? Yeah. A lot of people.
A lot of people were interested in showing their shoes.
I think it was.
Was there any reason why that you wanted to see so many?
Well, I was
shoes?
I was in the shopping mall and I just looked down at my shoes. And
you were just hoping to.
I've got some nice shoes on. I'll just take a photo, and I was on this bench, and I was like, "I'll take a photo and post it."
That sounds pretty similar to the way I tweet. I'll just tweet
it does
off rip, just on a whim.
Cool. And I'm like the professional. I like to.
Here we go.
Things.
I've got up the tweet. "Hey Vapor Peeps, show me your shoes," and I got 34 comments.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I'm going to link that now if you want to look at it. I'll put it in.
Please do, so I can post my shoes.
We will link it.
I'll put it in VC chat. And if you want me to do this again, I will happily.
I'll make sure to take the link and I'll put it in.
There you go.
We'll put in the description for all the viewers.
Those are most definitely. Those are pretty nice shoes. Those are really nice shoes. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, thank you. They broke. They got ripped and stuff, so they're in the bin now. But
no!
It will be in the description of the video. Remember to post it if you want to see.
If you want to see if you want to see artists like Zero, Sora's shoes, Catsism Corpse shoes.
I do want to see Jordan's shoes.
Strawberry Station shoes. Winter Kilt shoes.
Dude, everyone just loves showing off their shoes.
I'm gonna just go ahead and retweet this real quick. Hold up.
It's like a year old.
I don't give a fuck.
That's like, all right. I don't know how this got from favorite food to favorite shoes, but here we are.
God damn it! I just see Soul. I see Soul Crafts. He spelled. I'm kind of mad at him now. He spelled Soul as like SOLE.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Cancel.
Oh no! Don't cancel Soulcraft.
Don't cancel Soulcraft. Soulcraft is a lovely man.
I love the dude. He's great.
All right,
both
let's
him and
get back
Polyglot.
to our questions and away from the shoes.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
This is a great question. I don't know how to say her name. It's just gonna sound Zera, Z-E-R-A, Zera Viria. I feel bad because I talk with her often. I just don't know how to say her Twitter handle. My bad. What are some artists that people are sleeping on? Any recommendations?
Oh, okay. Go about this for ages. Go and watch. It's 9 hours, so skim through it maybe. But go and watch the Slushwave 2020 festival. There are so many artists in there being slept on, like Sora, Glaciology. Who else do we have? God, it was so long ago. But just go and look at the lineup of the Slushwave show, because there are some really underrated artists who I want people to listen to, because they make great Slushwave. They really do. So go and look at the lineup, discover people from the Slushwave 2020 lineup, and you won't regret it. Some beautiful music being created in that field.
Yeah, there's so much great Slushwave out there. Shout out to Soar. I can't say that. Yeah, they're awesome. I think that was one of the first Slushwave albums I ever listened to.
Yeah, I've got the line in front of me. Lucid Beach 85. Go and listen to them. Listen to everything on Global Pattern. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Endless Waters, Puda Polly, Journal Mod.
Oh yeah,
if you got 9 hours, just watch the whole Slushwave 2020.
If you somehow come across
just watch the whole thing.
Put it on in the background. It's hosted by me, Tim Six, who owns Global Pattern and Vapor Memory. We all have a little chat in between sets. We interview people, including Second Sight here.
That's wonderful.
We had a chat with quite a few artists as well. So
yeah, it was a wonderful show. Awesome show you put on.
Chatted with Catsism Corpse, Pad Chennington as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
It was such a fun night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. Eventually.
I'm jealous. Makes me want to start making Slushwave, even though I can't make music. I want to hang out.
Oh, it's not that
with kids,
I mean, we can help you out.
Yeah. When I'm making music, it's much different. So, it's weird how I do it. You're not gonna invite me to no live show. It's sad. I'm always down to commentate. I'm like, hey, if you wanna, I'll go on someone else's podcast. You want me to, I think it was like Indy and someone else, and they were doing like the commentary and interviews for the block party. I'm like, that sounds like so much fun, man. Invite me. We can do that. Me and Second Sight. We got a show going on. We'll do what we do with the podcast, and we'll just move it. We'll hang out at y'all place.
You'll just bust in there like, hey.
We'll join your Discord VC. We'll kick you out. It's our show now.
Yeah, we're taking over.
Now I'm scared.
But anyone watching, if you got a show coming up and you need people to be there for any of your stuff, we're open. Me and Mr. Second Man. You're not any more Sight. You're just Second Man. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. Hold on. I gotta change my Twitter and my Bandcamp now. Hold up.
Yeah. Sorry, Second Man. I'm gonna ask this next question because I'm gonna take it over. Second Man. I'm on your Second Sight now.
Damn it.
This is the weirdest question I think we've ever received in anything, because there's no context. I'm gonna take this one. This is from someone we've talked about a couple times. Zero Trash Wave. We're going to need a lot of context. The question is simply ask him about the barn, period. That is the full sentence. So,
yeah, what's going on?
Why am I not even surprised? Right, Zero Trash Babe, if you are listening to this, fuck you. No, I'm joking. Basically, I'm living with university mates now, so it doesn't really apply, but I used to live in a converted barn, and I said to him when we were first talking, I said, "Oh, I live in a barn," and he had this picture. I lived in some wooden shack, and I slept on a hay bale.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
And he pissed himself laughing at that. I remember him absolutely dying, and I was like, "What did I say?" And yeah, he was laughing at that. And he still laughs at it. He has a little chuckle about it today.
That's why he wanted to ask about the barn.
That's why he wanted to ask about the barn, yes.
You lived in a barn that was converted into a house? Or was it converted into a living?
Yeah, it was converted into a bungalow. It's a really nice house as well.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
In the middle
it's
of
not a barn, and you... I'm just imagining you're living in hay, and you just have a computer next to you, and you make a slush wave. That's it.
That's what he thought.
With a long extension. It's like a long
It's
extension cord to the main house.
Just a long extension cord for the one outlet across the house of your bed.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there making slush wave, asking to get a better house. And you got your oven. You have to have your oven for the pizza.
He's a weirdo also. With cats. He loves his cats. He's like a cat man type.
Shout out to Zero. Awesome.
Shout out to Zero. I'm gonna tell him to listen to this because.
Well, we're gonna go from 1 0 to the other 0 because both zeros have asked questions next to each other.
Wow.
This is from I Am Zero Music. I do find it kind of funny. There's 2 zeros, but they're both way different and also both really cool visual artists. It's cool how that works. What future plans do you have for the sand in the desert is warm at night? Thank you, Twitter, for translating that correctly. I love Twitter translation.
Yeah, I think you wrote it in Japanese, so
yeah, that's the direct translation according to Twitter.
Back to Google.
Right. Shout out to the sand in the desert.
What future plans do I have? I have some. I'm not sure if I can say what. But
share what you can. If you
no, I can actually share it because they released a track. I have an album coming up on Villain as that.
Oh.
So
that's
there
awesome.
you are. I Am Zero. New album. I don't say much more, but if you look on their YouTube channel, they uploaded one of the tracks from that upcoming album. So go check that out.
That's awesome. Yeah, they do awesome vinyls and stuff over at Villain. Absolutely. So that's gonna be a great release. You're going everywhere. You mention some really, really amazing labels now that you're working with. 3 awesome.
It's amazing. So I would never ever think when I first started and I was just pissing around that I would be here.
Yeah.
But,
I totally. I wouldn't imagine I would be here talking to you. That's my. I'm talking to Desert Sands right now.
I mean, I don't think. I probably wouldn't be here either. Honestly, if you didn't actually reach out to me for Slush Wave 2020.
He reached out to you for that. Wow.
Yeah, that opened up a lot of doors.
That's awesome.
I'm glad. That's the whole point of the show, was to get people to listen to not just Telepath. So
yeah, I feel like
it's good. Yeah. I'm not saying Telepath's bad in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying I wish people would just open their horizons a bit. That there's
open
not
their
just
slush wave eyes.
Exactly. Open their second sight.
Open their second sight.
There you go.
There we go. It all goes back to the name.
Second man.
I think we are on our final question here, Mr. Second Sight.
Yeah, completely unrelated to the last couple questions.
Yeah.
How do you come up with your melodies?
My question's by Your Unspeakable.
But then again, you kind of answered that early on. But
yeah.
Just to remind everyone.
So I answered this to Yours Unspeakable before, but to go into more detail, it is literally just improvisation. I've been doing music theory for about 10, 12 years, so that helps.
Oh, wow. Helps.
Because I remember talking to Mindstream Memories Angel, who was mastering one of my albums for vinyl, and she said, "Oh my goodness, like the chord progressions are so rich. You know, you can't have just gone from this to that, and it's not. It's because when you do music, you never know what project's going to be successful. And I never thought this would be successful, but it has, and you know, I'm really thrilled that it is. But obviously, you know, I really wanted to incorporate some of, you know, my musical knowledge into it, which is again one of the reasons why I started the sample free. And again, it's just improvisation and building on the knowledge of listening to things like Chinese pop and Japanese pop in the 80s and 90s. That has helped. So yeah. And it's kind of hard for me to just say that, because a lot of people actually really struggle with things like improvisation. But I would just say any musicians who want to do this sort of thing, just brush up on the music theory, listen to loads and loads of 80s and 90s stuff, and it'll just solidify in your brain naturally. And then you can sit down at a keyboard and go, oh yeah, that sounds good. And as soon as you get to that point, it's a breeze. So yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, we're at the end here. It's been awesome so far. It's great. Thank you for having. Thank you for hanging out.
It was a pleasure to be here. I'm glad I could. I'm glad I had the time.
Yeah. This is a very chill episode, I feel. You know.
Yeah.
Very relaxing.
I mean, then again, aren't they all?
I can only hope. The based episode was kind of sporadic. But...
Yeah, but it was fun.
It was fun. Every episode's been fun. It's awesome to have a chat with Desert Sands. I know you've been super busy with all these awesome albums that you've...
You said it wrong again.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it right. I'm never going to say it right. Congratulations to me for saying your name wrong the hour and a half long of this episode. Desert Sand.
Sanda.
Sanda. I'm going to have to sand it.
I remember I was on a call with Angel, Mindspring Memories, and she said, oh shit, I get it wrong all the time as well. And I was just like, Angel, you know.
Desert Sand.
Desert Sand. I like that.
The only thing to take away from this episode is it's Desert Sand.
I feel like if you had a future funk alias, it would be called Desert Sand. Yeah.
That would just be super confusing.
Desert. You could go to dessert or desert sand.
Every combination has already been done. Dessert sand.
We'll come up with something else.
We'll find something. We're going to replace every word with another word that's similar to it.
If you go through the tweets where I said fill in the blanks, actually I will find those also and post them in here. And you'll see all the responses. It's literally everything you could ever think of.
I'm terrified, truly.
I'm terrified, yeah. That's wonderful. All right. Well, this is the end of the VaporCast with Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night. There you go. It took me a minute, but I did.
There you go. Came full circle.
Came full circle. Check out Desert Sands, the Bandcamp, and the Twitter. That will be in the link below. Go hit him a follow if you're looking for some awesome slush wave. And check out Slush Wave 2020 if you're looking for even more awesome slush wave. And that's going to be it for the VaporCast. See you guys next time.